Welcome back. Today, we're traveling nearly a century into the past, to one of the most dramatic and transformative decades in modern history. The 1930s are often remembered for economic hardship and global uncertainty, but they were also filled with astonishing achievements, groundbreaking discoveries, and cultural moments that permanently reshaped the world. This was a decade when humanity faced enormous challenges, yet continued to innovate, build, explore, and imagine the future. Technology accelerated, science unlocked powerful secrets, media connected millions of people in ways never seen before. And even during hardship, people found ways to create hope and progress. Today, we're exploring 5 amazing facts about the 1930s that reveal just how extraordinary this decade truly was. In the middle of the Great Depression, when unemployment in the United States reached staggering levels, one of humanity's boldest construction projects rose into the sky. The Empire State Building was completed in 1931, and astonishingly, it took only 410 days to build. Construction began in 1930, just months after the stock market crash had shaken the global economy. Despite financial chaos, thousands of workers came together to construct a building taller than anything ever seen before. At peak activity, more than 3,400 workers labored daily. Many were immigrants, including Mohawk ironworkers known for their ability to work at incredible heights. Photographs from the era show workers casually eating lunch while sitting on steel beams hundreds of feet above Manhattan, often without modern safety equipment. When completed, the building stood 250 feet tall, 454 feet including the antenna, instantly becoming the tallest building in the world, a title it held for nearly 4 decades. Ironically, because businesses struggled during the Depression, much of the office space initially sat empty, earning it the nickname the Empty State Building. Yet over time, it became one of the most recognizable landmarks on Earth, a symbol of ambition and resilience during hardship. The tower's spire was even designed as a docking mast for airships, though dangerous winds made the idea impractical. Even in one of the worst economic crises in history, people were still building toward the future. On October 30, 1938, millions of Americans gathered around their radios, the most important entertainment and news technology of the era. That evening, a young actor and director named Orson Welles presented a dramatized adaptation of The War of the Worlds. Instead of telling the story traditionally, the broadcast was formatted like live breaking news. Actors played reporters interrupting music programs with urgent updates, explosions observed on Mars, a mysterious object landing in New Jersey, and towering alien machines attacking humanity. Listeners who tuned in late missed the introduction explaining it was fictional. Some genuinely believed Earth was under attack. Phone lines jammed as people called authorities. Reports described frightened listeners leaving homes or gathering in churches. While later historians debate how widespread the panic truly was, the event clearly demonstrated how powerful radio had become. For the first time, a mass audience experienced how realistic media could blur the boundary between fiction and reality. Something that still resonates today in the age of viral information and social media. The broadcast instantly made Orson Welles famous and remains one of the most legendary moments in broadcasting history. During the 1930s, the United States undertook one of the most ambitious engineering projects ever attempted, the construction of the Hoover Dam. Built between 1931 and 1936 on the Colorado River, the dam was designed to control dangerous flooding, provide irrigation water, and generate hydroelectric power for the rapidly growing American Southwest. The scale of the project was almost unimaginable at the time. More than 21,000 workers participated in its construction. Engineers had to divert the entire Colorado River through massive tunnels carved into canyon walls before building could even begin. The dam required enough concrete to build a highway from New York to San Francisco. Temperatures inside the canyon often exceeded 120 degrees, 49.6 degrees. Workers endured brutal conditions, yet the project provided desperately needed jobs during the Depression. When completed, Hoover Dam became the tallest dam in the world and a triumph of modern engineering. It supplied electricity to Nevada, Arizona, and California, powering cities like Los Angeles and Las Vegas and helping transform the American West into a thriving region. It showed how large-scale infrastructure projects could reshape entire economies and landscapes. In 1938, a scientific discovery quietly changed the future of humanity. German chemist Otto Hahn and colleague Fritz Strassmann were experimenting with uranium atoms. Instead of producing heavier elements, they observed something unexpected. The atom had split into smaller pieces. Physicist Lise Meitner, who had fled Nazi Germany earlier that year, correctly interpreted the results with her nephew Otto Frisch. They realized the uranium nucleus had been divided, releasing enormous energy. This process became known as nuclear fission. The discovery revolutionized physics almost overnight. Scientists now understood that matter itself contained vast stores of energy. Within a few years, this knowledge would lead to nuclear reactors and, during World War II, atomic weapons. Nuclear fission forever altered geopolitics, warfare, and energy production. Today, nuclear power plants around the world still rely on the principles discovered in the late 1930s. A laboratory experiment intended to expand chemistry ended up reshaping global history. The 1930s brought not only economic disaster, but environmental catastrophe across America's Great Plains. Years of severe drought combined with aggressive farming practices stripped the land of protective grasses. Without roots to hold soil in place, strong winds lifted massive amounts of dry earth into the air. The result was the Dust Bowl. Gigantic dust storms, sometimes hundreds of miles wide, swept across states including Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, and Colorado. These storms were so dense they turned daytime skies completely black. On April 14, 1935, an event later called Black Sunday sent a towering wall of dust across the plains. Families described dust pouring through windows and settling over everything they owned. Crops failed, livestock died. Hundreds of thousands of families were forced to migrate westward searching for work, many heading toward California. Their experiences were captured in The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck and documented through powerful photographs by Dorothea Lange. The disaster permanently changed American agriculture, leading to soil conservation programs and new environmental policies designed to prevent similar catastrophes in the future. Outro. The 1930s were a decade defined by contrasts. Economic hardship existed alongside engineering triumphs. Fear and uncertainty lived beside scientific discovery. Environmental disaster occurred at the same time as technological progress. From the soaring height of the Empire State Building to the immense scale of Hoover Dam. From a fictional alien invasion that fooled listeners to the real discovery of atomic power. From dust storms that reshaped a nation to innovations that powered its future. The 1930s proved something remarkable. Even during humanity's toughest moments, progress never truly stops. History's darkest decades often produce its most extraordinary breakthroughs. And the 1930s stand as one of the greatest examples of resilience, creativity, and transformation in modern history.